In the grand churning machinery of the Nexus Military Academy, exactly 47,312 destinies converge this cycle. Most were predictably grandiose, hive mind drones moving in terrifying insectoid synchronization, or towering velour warriors seeking to polish their honor with blood. Then there was Cadet Zara 9, standing in Processing Q7, looking entirely too ordinary. She was a statistical anomaly in a uniform that didn't quite fit, holding a duffel bag that had seen better decades. It is a familiar sight in stories like this, the unassuming variable that quietly overturns the entire equation while the rest of the world is busy watching the fireworks. Kresh Vor, a massive insectoid whose carapace gleamed with unearned pride, clicked his mandibles in amusement. "Earth spawn," he rumbled, his voice carrying the resonance of a species that conquered stars before inventing literature. "Tell me, soft skin, does your world still fight with metal sticks?" Zara adjusted her bag, entirely unfazed. "Actually, we switched to kinetic projectiles fired from chemical tubes. Much more efficient." A nearby Sihorian, pulsing with electromagnetic arrogance, chimed in. "And I suppose you navigate by staring at lights in the sky?" "Sometimes," Zara replied, her voice carrying a deadly sort of honesty. "Stars don't malfunction." The mockery deepened when a Zenthari warrior questioned Earth's meager applicant numbers. Zara explained it was due to a population bottleneck caused by civil war. "How many factions survived?" the Zenthari asked, expecting a tragedy. "All of them," Zara said calmly. "We just figured out better ways to manage the underlying problems." The silence that followed was heavy, the kind of stillness that predates a storm. Then came the security checkpoint. The scanner, a device of ancient and unimpeachable authority, cleared the aliens with indifferent chimes. But when Zara stepped forward, the machine screamed. Red light flooded the hall, pulsing like a dying star. The holographic display fractured into frantic warnings. Legacy Quarantine Protocol, referred to extinct Dominion archives. Status, do not engage. It wasn't a rejection, it was an air raid siren for a ghost. High in the administrative spire, Director Velkath stared at impossible data. Her chief technician, Core Prime, was baffled. The scanner was referencing security clearances from the Dominion, an empire dead for 700 years. Yet, Zara's file was even stranger, a standard human physiology, but her application included a thesis on Dominion military doctrine, citing primary sources from languages that should have been lost to time. She didn't just study history, she spoke the classified syntax of dead warlords. Velkath descended into the forbidden archives, unlocking a vault that official records denied existed. Inside, the truth of the galaxy waited in 47 petabytes of cold storage. The records didn't show humans as primitives. They showed the Third Human Expeditionary Force. They showed the Battle of Kepler 779, where humans didn't fire shots but instead presented mathematical proofs that resistance would lead to economic collapse. They weaponized logic. They conquered by convincing enemies that surrender was the only optimized outcome. The Dominion hadn't collapsed. They had been dismantled by human strategists, then quarantined Earth in terror, labeling the species a maximum existential threat. Confronted in a conference room, Zara admitted to her research with the casual demeanor of a student discussing a summer hobby. "I found the discrepancies when I was 12, she shrugged. "It's easier to integrate into the galaxy if everyone thinks you're harmless farmers rather than the architects of the last great war." The true shockwave hit the next morning. Velkath stood before the full assembly of galactic military leaders. She displayed a simulation Zara had completed. A complex, multi-system conflict resolved in 14 minutes with a 100% success rate. Zara hadn't fought. She had redesigned the communication protocols so the opposing sides realized their goals were compatible. The simulation wasn't hypothetical, Velkath revealed, her voice trembling with the weight of a shifting paradigm. It was the Kepler sector. The ceasefire was signed 43 minutes ago. A collective gasp sucked the air from the room. A student had ended an active interstellar war as a homework assignment. "We have been teaching calculus to civilizations that just discovered counting," Velkath told the stunned generals. Zara, entering by a hack security door, was offered a faculty position on the spot. She declined, opening her book. Tactical Fundamentals. written by herself. "I'd prefer to graduate first," she said, "but eventually I'd like to teach preventive resolution. Why learn to win wars when you can make them mathematically impossible?" As the assembly grappled with their sudden obsolescence, the admission scanner outside quietly updated its assessment of the human race. The red warning faded, replaced by a pulse of satisfied green. Educational opportunity detected. Advisory level, maximum.